All right, everyone. Let's jump right in. We left off with the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum also synthesizes lipids, especially phospholipids and cholesterol. These lipids are rapidly incorporated into the lipid bilayer of the endoplasmic reticulum, thus causing it to grow more extensive. This process occurs mainly in the smooth portion of the endoplasmic reticulum. To keep the ER from growing beyond the needs of the cell, small vesicles called ER vesicles or transport vesicles continually break away from the smooth reticulum, and most of these then migrate rapidly to the Golgi apparatus. Other significant functions of the endoplasmic reticulum, especially the smooth reticulum, it provides the enzymes that control glycogen breakdown when glycogen is to be used for energy. It provides a vast number of enzymes that are capable of detoxifying substances, such as drugs that might damage the cell. It achieves that detoxification by processes such as coagulation, oxidation, hydrolysis, and conjugation with glycouronic acid. Although a major function of the Golgi apparatus is to provide additional processing of substances already formed in the endoplasmic reticulum, it can also synthesize certain carbohydrates that cannot be formed in the endoplasmic reticulum. This is especially true for the formation of large saccharide polymers bound with small amounts of protein. Important examples include the hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate. A few of the many functions of hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate in the body are as follows. So they are the major components of proteoglycans secreted in mucus and other glandular secretions. They are the major components of the ground substance or non-fibrous components of the extracellular matrix outside the cells in the interstitial spaces, which act as fillers between collagen fibers and cells. They are principal components of the organic matrix in both cartilage and bone, and they are important in many cell activities, including migration and proliferation. As substances are formed in the endoplasmic reticulum, especially proteins, they are transported through the tubules toward portions of the smooth endoplasmic reticulum that lie nearest to the Golgi apparatus. At this point, transport vesicles composed of small envelopes of smooth endoplasmic reticulum continually break away and diffuse to the deepest layer of the Golgi apparatus. And inside these vesicles are synthesized proteins and other products from the endoplasmic reticulum. The transport vesicles instantly fuse with the Golgi apparatus and empty their contained substances into the vesicular spaces of the Golgi. Here, additional carbohydrate moieties are added to the secretions, and also an important function of the Golgi apparatus is to compact that endoplasmic reticular secretions into highly concentrated packets. As these secretions pass toward the outermost layer of the Golgi apparatus, the compaction and processing proceed. Finally, both small and large vesicles continually break away from the Golgi apparatus, carrying with them the compacted secretory substances and diffusing throughout the cell. So the following example provides an idea of the timing of these processes. So when a glandular cell is bathed in amino acids, newly formed protein molecules can be detected in the granular endoplasmic reticulum within 5 minutes. Within 20 minutes, newly formed proteins are already present in the Golgi apparatus, and within about 2 hours, the proteins are secreted from the surface cell. In a highly secretory cell, the vesicles formed by the Golgi apparatus are mainly secretory vesicles containing proteins that are secreted through the surface of the cell membrane. These secretory vesicles first diffuse to the cell membrane and then fuse with it and empty their substances to the exterior by the mechanism called exocytosis. That is, in most cases, stimulated by entry of calcium ions into the cell. Calcium ions interact with the vesicular membrane and cause its fusion with the cell membrane, followed by exocytosis, which is the opening of the membrane's outer surface and extrusion of its contents outside the cell. Some vesicles, however, are destined for intracellular use. So Those formed by the Golgi apparatus fuse with the cell membrane or with the membranes of intracellular structures, such as the mitochondria, and even back to the endoplasmic reticulum. This fusion increases the expanse of these membranes and replenishes the membranes as they're used up. For example, the cell membrane loses much of its substance every time it forms a phagocytic or pinocytotic vesicle, and the vesicular membranes of the Golgi apparatus continually replenish that cell membrane. So, in summary, the membranous system of the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus are highly metabolic and capable of forming new intracellular structures and secretory substances to be extruded from the cell. The principal substances from which cells extract energy are foods that react chemically with oxygen, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. In the humanoid body, essentially all carbohydrates are converted into glucose by the digestive tract and liver before they reach the other cells of the body. Similarly, proteins are converted into amino acids, fats are converted into fatty acids. Inside the cell, they react chemically with oxygen under the influence of enzymes that control the reactions and channel the energy released in the proper direction. So briefly, almost all of these oxidative reactions occur in the mitochondria, and the energy that is released is used to form the high energy compound ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Then ATP, not the original food, is used throughout the cell to energize almost all of the subsequent intracellular metabolic reactions. ATP is a nucleotide. It's composed of a nitrogenous base, adenine, a pentose sugar called ribose, and 3 phosphate radicals. The last 2 phosphate radicals are connected with the remainder of the molecule by high energy phosphate bonds, which you'll typically see when you're writing out these formulas with a tilde symbol is going to be what tells you that it's a high energy bond. Under the physical and chemical conditions of this body, each of these high energy bonds contains about 12,000 calories of energy per mole of ATP, which is way greater than the energy stored in an average chemical bond, thus giving rise to the term high energy bond. Furthermore, the high energy phosphate bond is very labile, so that it can be split instantly on demand whenever energy is required to promote other intracellular reactions. When ATP releases its energy, a phosphoric acid radical is split away and it forms adenosine diphosphate. This released energy is used to energize many of the cell's other functions, such as synthesis of substances and muscular contraction. To reconstitute the cellular ATP as it's used up, energy derived from the cellular nutrients causes ADP and phosphoric acid to recombine to form a new ATP, and the entire process is done over and over and over and over and over again. For these reasons, ATP has been called the energy currency of the cell because it can be spent and reformed continually, having a turnover of only about a few minutes. On entry into the cells, glucose is converted by enzymes in the cytoplasm into pyruvic acid, which is a process called glycolysis. A small amount of ADP is changed into ATP by the energy released during this conversion, but this amounts for less than 5% of the overall energy metabolism of the cell. About 95% of the cell's ATP formation occurs in the mitochondria. The pyruvic acid derived from carbohydrates, fatty acids from the lipids, and amino acids from proteins is eventually converted into the compound acetyl coenzyme A, or CoA, in the matrix of mitochondria. This substance is then dissolved for the purpose of extracting its energy by another series of enzymes in the mitochondrial matrix, undergoing dissolution in a sequence of chemical reactions called the citric acid cycle, or the Krebs cycle. In the citric acid cycle, acetyl coenzyme A is split into its component parts, hydrogen atoms and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide diffuses out of the mitochondria and eventually out of the cell, and it is excreted from the body through the lungs. The hydrogen atoms, though, are highly reactive. They combine with oxygen that has also diffused into the mitochondria. This combination releases a tremendous amount of energy, which is used by mitochondria to convert large amounts of ADP to ATP. The processes of these reactions are extremely complex, requiring the participation of many protein enzymes that are integral parts of mitochondrial membranous shelves that protrude into the mitochondrial matrix. The initial event is the removal of an electron from the hydrogen atom, thus converting it to a hydrogen ion. The terminal event is the combination of hydrogen ions with oxygen to form water, and the release of large amounts of energy to globular proteins that protrude like knobs from the membranes of the mitochondrial shelves. These proteins are called ATP synthetase. Finally, the enzyme ATP synthetase uses the energy from the hydrogen ions to convert ADP to ATP. The newly formed ATP is transported out of the mitochondria into all the cells of all of the parts of the cell cytoplasm and nucleoplasm, where it energizes multiple cell functions. This overall process for formation of ATP is called chemiosmotic mechanism of ATP formation. Now, energy from ATP is used to promote four major categories of cellular functions. One is the transport of substances through multiple cell membranes. Two is the synthesis of chemical compounds throughout the cell. Three is mechanical work, and four is magical work. In addition to the membrane transport of sodium, energy from ATP is required for the membrane transport of potassium, magnesium, calcium, phosphate, chloride, urate, hydrogen ions, and many other ions, as well as various organic substances. Membrane transport is so important to cell function that some cells, like the renal tubular cells, use as much as 80% of the ATP that they form for that purpose alone. In addition to synthesizing proteins, cells make phospholipids, cholesterol, purines, pyrimidines, and many other substances. Synthesis of almost any chemical compound requires energy. For example, a single protein molecule might be composed of as many as 1,000 amino acids attached to one another by peptide linkages. The formation of each linkage requires energy derived from the breakdown of four high energy bonds. Thus, many thousand ATP molecules need to release their energy for a single protein molecule to form. In fact, some cells use as much as 75% of all the ATP formed in the cell simply to synthesize new chemical compounds, especially proteins. This is particularly true during the growth phase of cells. Another use of ATP is to supply energy for cells to perform mechanical work. Other cells perform mechanical work in other ways, especially by ciliary or amoeboid motion. The source of energy for all of these types of mechanical work is ATP. So in summary, ATP is readily available to release its energy rapidly whenever it's needed in the cell. To replace it, much slower chemical reactions break down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins and use that energy derived to form new ATP. And more than 95% of this ATP is formed in the mitochondria, which is why the mitochondria is called that powerhouse of the cell. The most obvious type of movement in the body is that which occurs in skeletal, cardiac, and smooth muscle cells, which constitute about 50% of the entire body mass. Two other types of movement, amoeboid locomotion and ciliary movement, occur in other cells. Amoeboid movement is a crawling-like movement of an entire cell in relation to its surroundings, such as movement of white blood cells through tissues. This type of movement gets its name from the fact that amoeba move in this manner, and amoeba have provided an excellent tool for studying the phenomenon. Typically, amoeboid locomotion begins with the protrusion of a pseudopodium from one end of the cell. The pseudopodium projects away from the cell body and partially secures itself in a new tissue area. Then the remainder of the cell is pulled toward that pseudopodium. Basically, this results from the continual formation of a new cell membrane at the leading edge of that pseudopodium and continual absorption of that membrane in the mid and rear portions of the cell. Two other effects are also essential for forward movement of this cell. The first is attachment of the pseudopodium to surrounding tissues so that it becomes fixed in its leading position, while the remainder of the cell body is being pulled forward toward that point of attachment. This attachment is caused by receptor proteins that line the insides of exocytotic vesicles. When the vesicles become part of the pseudopodial membrane, they open so that their insides evert outside and the receptors now protrude to the outside and attach to ligands in the surrounding tissues. At the opposite end of the cell, the receptors pull away from their ligands and form new endocytotic vesicles. Then inside the cell, these vesicles stream forward toward the pseudopodial end of the cell, where they're used to form new membrane for the pseudopodium. The second essential effect for locomotion is to provide the energy required to pull the cell body in the direction of the pseudopodium. A moderate to large amount of the protein actin is in the cytoplasm of all cells. Much of the actin is in the form of single molecules that do not provide any motive power. However, these molecules can polymerize to form a filamentous network, and the network contracts when it binds with an actin-binding protein such as myosin. The entire process is energized by the high-energy compound ATP. This is what occurs in the pseudopodium of a moving cell, where such a network of actin filaments forms anew inside the enlarging pseudopodium. Contraction also occurs in the ectoplasm of the cell body, where a pre-existing actin network is already present within the cell membrane. The most common cells to exhibit amoeboid locomotion in the humanoid body are white blood cells, when they move about out of the blood into the tissues to form tissue macrophages. Other types of cells that can also move by this locomotion under certain circumstances. For example, fibroblasts move into a damaged area to help repair damage. And even the germinal cells of the skin, although ordinarily completely sessile cells, move toward a cut area to repair the opening. Cell locomotion is also especially important in the development of the embryo and fetus after fertilization of an ovum. For example, embryonic cells often must migrate long distances from their sites of origin to new areas during the development of special structures. Some types of cancer cells, which arise from connective tissue cells like sarcomas, are especially proficient in amoeboid movement. This partially accounts for their relatively rapid spreading from one part of the body to another, which is known as metastasis. An important initiator of amoeboid locomotion is the process called chemotaxis, which results from the appearance of certain chemical substances in the tissues. Any chemical substance that causes chemotaxis to occur is called a chemotactic substance. Most cells that exhibit amoeboid locomotion move toward the source of a chemotactic substance, that is, from an area of lower concentration toward an area of higher concentration. This is called positive chemotaxis. If they're moving away, it's called negative chemotaxis. So how does chemotaxis control the direction of amoeboid locomotion? We're not 100% certain on the answer, but it is known that the side of the cell most exposed to the chemotactic substance develops membrane changes that cause pseudopodial protrusion. Now, on the other hand, there are two types of cilia, motile and non-motile or primary cilia. Motile cilia can undergo a whip-like movement on the surfaces of cells. This movement occurs mainly in two places in the humanoid body: on the surfaces of the respiratory airways and on the inside surfaces of the uterine tubes of the reproductive tract. In the nasal cavity and lower respiratory airways, the whip-like motion of motile cilia causes a layer of mucus to move at a rate of about 1 centimeter a minute toward the pharynx, and this way continually clearing these passages of mucus and particles that have become trapped in that mucus. And the uterine tubes, cilia cause slow movement of fluid from the ostium to the uterine tube toward the uterus cavity. This movement of fluid transports the ovum from the ovary to the uterus. Often, many motile cilia project from a single cell. For example, as many as 200 cilia on the surface of each epithelial cell is on the inside of the respiratory passageways. The cilium is covered by an outcropping of the cell membrane and is supported by 11 microtubules, 9 double tubules located around the periphery of the cilium, and 2 single tubules down the center. Each cilium is an outgrowth of a periphery of the cilium, is an outgrowth of a stricture that lies immediately beneath the cell membrane called the basal body of the cilium. The flagellum of a sperm is similar to a motile cilium. In fact, it has much the same type of structure and same type of contractile mechanism. But the flagellum, however, is much longer and moves in a quasi-sinusoidal waves instead of whip-like movements. The cilium moves forward with a sudden rapid whip-like stroke 10 to 20 times per second, bending sharply where it projects from the surface of the cell. Then it moves backward slowly to its initial position. The rapid forward thrusting whip-like movement pushes the fluid lying adjacent to the cell in the direction that the cilium moves. The slow dragging movement in the backward direction has almost no effect on the fluid movement. As a result, the fluid is continually propelled in the direction of a fast forward stroke. Because most motile ciliated cells have large numbers of cilia in their surfaces, and because all the cilia are oriented in the same direction, this is an effective means for moving fluids from one part of the surface to another. Now, although not all aspects of ciliary movement are known, we are aware of the following elements. First, the 9 double tubules and 2 single tubules are all linked to one another by a complex of protein cross-linkages. This total complex of tubules and cross-linkages is called the axoneme. Second, even after removal of the membrane and destruction of other elements of the cilium in addition to the axoneme, the cilium can still beat under appropriate conditions. Third, 2 conditions are necessary for continued beating of the axoneme after removal of other structures: the availability of ATP and appropriate ionic conditions, especially appropriate concentrations of magnesium and calcium. Fourth, during forward motion of the cilium, the double tubules on the front edge of the cilium slide outward toward the tip, whereas those on the back edge remain in place. Fifth, multiple protein arms composed of the protein dynein, which has adenosine triphosphatase enzymatic activity, project from each double tubule toward an adjacent double tubule. So given this basic information, it's been determined that the release of energy from ATP in contact with ATPase dynein arms causes the heads of these arms to crawl rapidly along the surface of the adjacent double tubule. So if the front tubules crawl outward while the back tubules remain stationary, bending will occur. The way in which cilia contraction is controlled is not well understood, though. The cilia of some genetically abnormal cells do not have the 2 central single tubules, and these cilia fail to beat. Therefore, it's presumed that some signal, perhaps an electrochemical signal, is transmitted along these 2 central tubules to activate the dynein arms. Primary cilia are non-modal and generally occur only as a single cilium on each cell. Although the physiological functions of primary cilia are not fully understood, current evidence indicates that they function as cellular sensory antennae, which coordinate cellular signaling pathways involved in chemical and mechanical sensation, signal transduction, and cell growth. In the kidneys, primary cilia are found in most epithelial cells of the tubules, projecting into the tubule lumen and acting as a flow sensor. In response to fluid flow over the tubular epithelial cells, the primary cilia bend and cause flow-induced changes in intracellular calcium signaling. These signals, in turn, initiate multiple effects on the cells. Defects in the signaling by primary cilia and renal tubular epithelial cells are thought to contribute to various disorders, including the development of large fluid-filled cysts, a condition which is more commonly called polycystic kidney disease. All right, that's the end of our lecture for today. We finished up our information on the cell and its function. We talked a little bit about genetic control of protein synthesis and cell function and cell reproduction. I'm not going to go into too much detail on mitosis versus meiosis. That's for another class. So next week, we're going to start with transport of substances through the cell membranes. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Steam methods in the kitchen. Everybody decided to fight. Billy, you're up first.
Mm-hmm.
And the kitchen is located
right next to us.
Here.
Okay. Jerk me around like that.
So you got this.
I'm guessing
got this
this
little door.
I'm fun.
Yep.
You done?
No. And you got this door over here. But currently everybody's right here.
So I know you like people were screaming and running out, or at least the one cook was. Is the door open?
The door is a swing door.
I was gonna say, is it the swing door?
Does it have a porthole?
Yes, it does.
Of course it does. Billy's gonna. I think, where am I? Oh, there I am. Yeah,
You are right
Billy's
here.
going. Oh, Billy's gonna look. Oh God, don't go through the door. Billy's gonna look through the hole. What
Okay.
does Billy see?
Give me a perception check.
Enough.
I just realized I can overlap the turn order and the chat box over here. Life changing.
Yeah, 21.
21. Geez. Okay. Well, the window's a little steamy, but you kind of
Steam it up more.
and you see pots and pans are just clattered all over the place. Pots are boiling over on the stove, and you see what look like three kind of wispy characters, for lack of a better term, kind of swimming through the air, kind of in different portions of the kitchen, which you can see on the map.
Okay. Well, with that, Billy's definitely gonna call over his shoulder and be like, does anyone know how to fight steam specter things? There's
You-
3 of them.
You blow on it, right? Just blow it away. I assume.
Billy just kind of like squints and like he's gonna crack open the door and go, didn't work.
You did no more from the diaphragm. You have to use your.
You kill it like everything else. Ah!
And with that, Billy is going to grab the swinging door and hold it open, like pull it out.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it is now open and everyone has easy access.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna hold an action. I'm gonna hold an attack for if any of the wisps come out of the door for this round.
Okay. Do these things speak? They do. Interesting. But nothing that anybody here understands. This one has some movement, and that movement is okay. Yep, one is going to blast out of that door with a screech, yelling something that you really cannot understand. But go ahead and make your attacks to our. You have an attack held.
All right. I am going to cast Pocket Sand. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna cast Fire Pocket Sand, which is a what? Dex save. DC 12.
A dex save DC 12. And what kind of damage will this cause?
This is, I don't think I actually changed the damage type, so it is fire.
Okay. He rolled an 18 and has immunity to fire, as you soon find out.
Well, that's my attack.
Okay. That is its turn. As it bursts through the door, you immediately attacked it. It's going to turn around and immediately attack you.
I don't have my
Claw
shield.
attack. Just a little claw attack. There's a 7 hit.
Does not, even though I don't have my shield.
All right. That's the end of its turn. Yorick Balladmore steps up to the plate.
Woo! I'll do my bonus action to summon my armor and sword. And then I will give it a good old swing with Stormcaller.
Okay.
18 to hit.
An 18 does hit.
Hold on, I get to reroll both of those damage die. 2d6.
Go lay down.
Well, okay. So 10 slashing and 2 lightning.
10 slashing, 2 lightning. All right. Still up, but
I will then reposition here to make it easier for people.
okay. Archie, you are up.
All right, Archie's going to reach down to the table, or I guess he's a dwarf. Reach up to the table behind him, grab a cup of water and splash it, and cast Ice Knife
Nice.
at the spirit. Where is it? This one. Oh, sorry. Spell save DC of 14. Also, I need to make a ranged spell attack.
Yes.
Where is that? With the 20 plus. Wait, actually, I have it over here. Wrote it down. Nice knife. Oh, 9.
All right. 9 misses it.
It still needs to make that saving throw, though.
So do Yorick and Billy.
Yes.
Dexterity saving throw, everybody. DC 14. The steam method has gotten a 17.
Ugh.
Oh,
So it takes. Oh, it just doesn't take any damage.
And it looks like Yorick failed. So he will take the 2d6 cold damage.
2.
oh. There we
Well,
go.
that was
Convenient.
Very
You take-
convenient.
You take that 2 damage.
And then bonus action shillelagh on the stick, the cane, and that'll be it.
all right. That is Jera's turn. Jera, you have a passive perception of 12, I think that is correct. 12. You have heard the commotion coming from inside. You do have a panther with you.
So I come riding in on a panther, of course.
Perfect.
Well, of course.
Let me see if I can find you a panther.
I
Familiar
don't even know
summons.
what that means.
Bam! Got you a panther right there.
Hey, a panther.
And there you go. Okay. So you come riding in. A panther has how much movement? What do you think? Like 30?
45.
45 seems 50, actually. Would you like to use all 50 to move? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. We'll put you right there.
What do I see? Is anyone hurt? Is
What
You
you
see me scraping some ice off of me.
yeah, York's a little chilly. He's kind of back against the wall, ready to attack something around the corner that you can't quite see. But you see steam billowing out of the kitchen door right here. Archie has his hands up and they're covered in ice as well, since he had just finished casting a spell. Dell is standing ready to attack, and you can't see Billy. You don't know where he is.
okay. Well, I will say, "Where's Billy?" and whip out my adorable little rapier.
Aw.
While we're calling it.
That's a panther. Billy's there.
Hey, this is Cayman. He's
All
That's
fluffy.
a panther.
Go ahead.
There's a cayman here.
Y'all see that too? Okay. Okay.
Did I win you a panther?
That came for the bag? I lost by like 4.
Okay, so if the panther is everyone's chief concern, I guess everything's fine then, huh?
Oh, well, the steam is attacking you from the kitchen. It's super spicy.
Something's on fire?
Unknown.
I mean, it's steam, not smoke. Probably not.
Technically,
Roik would catch it.
She'll just look at Dell and she'll say, "Whatever it is, I'm sure you can handle it," and inspire him.
all right.
Oh.
Sleeve.
She believes in me.
Oh.
That's a D6, right?
Yeah, and I'm out of movement, right?
Yeah.
Your panther is out of movement
It's interesting.
since you rode on the panther.
Okay, well, I've heard that there is steam, so I would like to look around for some. No, I will just hold an action to attack anything threatening any of my friends or my panther.
Okay, perfect. Dell, it is your turn.
Since the door is open, do I have a eye line to see these guys in here?
Yes, you do.
Sweetness.
Nice.
I'm going to look over there. Well, get momentarily distracted by the panther, but then knowing that Jared believes in me, I'm like, all right, let's do this. He's gonna use the wand and then give it a flick and cast Magnify Gravity on these two. It's a 10-foot radius sphere. So then both of them need to make Constitution saving throws, DC 14.
These two in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, yes.
Okay, DC 14 Constitution.
Correct.
Do they have good con? They got +0 to con. So one got
Not
a
bad, Con.
20. This one got a nat 20. This one got a 3.
All right. Half damage on the nat 20.
Okay.
The one that got 3, his speed is halved until the end of his next turn.
Okay. This 5 is the damage that they take.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. They probably aren't going to pick up anything, but any objects that aren't being worn or carried in that sphere, they'll need to do a strength check to pick them up if they're
Okay.
going to pick up some pots and pans. Other than that, he's going to cast that, drop the 4s. Is he going to move? No, I think he's going to stay there. Yeah, he's just going to stand up, do that, then sit back down.
And then sit back down. Like it. All right, that's this guy's turn. At 30 feet of movement, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He's going to jump right out here and he's going to claw at our friend Dell. Does a 17 hit?
Yes, that will. Wait a minute. Do I want to do it? No.
Right.
Yeah, that hits.
That'll be 4 slashing and 2 fire damage.
He's like, pfft. He's like, oh, I forgot mage armor this morning. That's right. That's what I was supposed to do. I got distracted by the frogs.
15, 20.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's very loud.
That one
The
has
snoring.
that one has 15 because his speed is half.
That is correct.
Oh, that's right. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
sir.
reminding me. 5, 10, 15. I was thinking their move was 50, but that's our
The panther.
The panther.
way over there. That brings us to the top of the round. Billy, you've dodged some ice. You've dodged some steam.
Is there? What do I have on my person that I could throw? Is there like a glass or a mug that would be approximately 1 pound within arm's reach?
Probably right here, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably.
I was like, what's on the table? So
The odds
yeah.
are decent for that.
So Billy is going to try to throw that mug at this one,
Okay.
at the one that tried to hit him. DC 12 dexterity saving throw.
We got a 3.
Yeah, okay,
That's
finally.
fantastic.
I didn't even have my damage ready because I wasn't expecting it. Okay. Billy's an old man. He doesn't do great. That'll be 21.
Holy crap.
And no,
hot
that's it on that one.
damage.
What kind of damage is it?
I don't want to tell you in case you say it didn't hit. It's bludgeoning. Because it's just a blunt object being
fine.
thrown.
Bludgeoning does hit. It blasts straight through it, and with the sound of a like steaming tea kettle, it explodes in a cloud of steam. Yorick and Billy and one of the Mephits is going to need to make a dexterity saving throw as it explodes in a death burst.
You just hear Billy go, "Damn it!"
Okay, okay.
All right.
Maybe.
Everybody passes.
Hey.
We are okay. That was going to be its turn, but it's dead now. So that brings us. Let's see. Jara had an action to hold in case it attacked anybody,
Oh.
but it didn't really attack, more just exploded.
The other one did attack me though.
That's right. That's right. Jara, go ahead and take your saved action.
Well, I was just going to attack with a sword, and I don't think I'm in range.
That's fair.
This is true. You do have movement though, but you didn't clarify that. No,
Not
Then you
allowed
go
to do
attack. Implies movement.
I guess so. That is true. It does imply movement if you would like to move.
that. No.
Yorick, you have been hit by some ice, and then the steam kind of just melted it right off of you.
Nice. Seeing that exploded, think I'm gonna try to stop this one here. I am going to swing at it with Stormcaller.
Okay.
It's 9 hit.
Nope.
I'll action surge and swing again.
Never thought I'd get to say that to Donald.
Let's say that, man. That's the one thing I'm good at, and that made me sad.
I'm gonna hit. Oh, wait.
I'm assuming a 21 hits though.
You know, crazy enough, it does. Ouch.
11 slashing to like, yeah, I don't reroll any of those. Oh, I do reroll one of those dice. Sorry.
Which one?
It'd be nice if I get to reroll one of the damage dice on the slashing. It'd be nice if it did it automatically for me.
Why do you re-roll them? What's the thing that does?
Because of my great fighter, great weapon fighter, thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets to reroll 1s and 2s on the damage die, and he's using the great sword, so those 2d6. And one of the d6s was a 2.
So that's 14 slashing damage instead.
Okay. So it's adding 3 more. Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw. Whoop. Not what I meant.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Half passed, right? Okay.
Ooh, wow.
Well,
that's a fail. So
it's just a straight up 2. That's hot. Okay.
you're going to take
0 dex.
1d8 fire damage.
Okay,
5
1d8.
fire
Okay.
damage.
Ooh, okay.
Well, it's a good thing I'm
Average.
immune to fire damage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Yeah.
Level
Ouch.
2 immune
Okay.
to fire. Okay.
Yeah. You're like, what is this homebrew crap?
Archie, it is your turn. Unless something else.
I will take with that, I'm gonna actually take my bonus action to second wind. Let's go ahead and heal that. Let's see, 1d10, right? Yeah, 1d10. Okay. +2, so I heal 4. All right, see, I'm keeping the bad rules. That's continuing this game. That's fantastic.
Always
It's
fun.
not my turn
Always
anymore.
fun. Archie,
Archie's going to
throw a frog at it.
Ooh.
I snipe it right here. So then
Oh,
you
yeah,
both
yeah,
get
so we can
hit, and then
all,
it
yeah.
explodes, and then we get hit again.
No, he's gonna make like an old man and whack it with his cane.
Nice.
Nice.
It's an 18 to
Nice.
hit.
That absolutely does.
Nice.
11 magic bludgeoning damage.
Ooh,
Beautifully done.
smack
Heal
in
up,
the head.
though.
That's good.
And yeah, that'll be it. That's all I can do.
What does if you want it, there is a stat sheet for a frog. Well,
Ooh, yes, please. I find
it
familiar.
has throw actions.
Yeah, frog is one of the worst familiars, but I'm okay with that.
Um, so yeah,
Rule of cool over meta.
Actually, do I have line of sight on York?
maybe like half. He's like behind half. cover.
All right, then I'm going to, as a bonus action, use Balm of the Summer Court. So York is going to get some health back.
Neat.
Spend a number of those is equal to okay. So 1d6 of healing.
Roll a 1. Please roll a 1.
No, go for 2. 2's the
So
number today.
happy.
Five.
Oh, a 5, the other number for
I am-
tonight. Okay.
Back to full.
There we go.
All right.
So I get used to embarrassing my kids by doing stupid stuff like that.
Jera,
Yes.
I'm banging around in the kitchen. Archie did something that helped York around the corner. You got one steam mephit here that's fighting at Dell and Archie.
Okay. And I've seen people attacking at it, right? Does it seem vulnerable to physical damage to me?
It does.
Oh yeah, he just whacked it.
Yep.
Well, I would like to go whack it myself and say, "Hey, stop it, you!"
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll your attack.
I would love to if I knew how to go back to my character sheet. Oh,
Oh,
I found it.
The app. I don't know on the app.
I found it. Rolling attack. Eventually, it might happen.
Drum
The
roll.
app to the actual computer has always been a little bit slow.
If I knew where attacks were, right? Oh, there it is. Aha! Behold, success.
Nice.
24 plus whatever flanking.
Yeah, and you do have flanking.
Well, I don't need
Get
it.
into that because you killed it. So
Yay.
Sarah,
Dell just closes
Archie,
his eyes.
Dell,
Uh-huh.
roll dexterity.
Dexterity saving
Bro.
throw.
Jera passes.
Where is it?
Critically
You're-
and critically.
Oh,
Actually, for the
your here's it about to explode.
for the
and-
inspiration,
I'm sorry.
for the inspiration,
Oh,
for DM inspiration, are we playing it as that is advantage, or are you giving a certain damage die for DM inspiration?
you know, I haven't decided.
This is the time.
Heard that.
I'll give you advantage.
Sweet. I'll go with the natural 20.
Flavor, as York hears this exploding, he flinches knowing, but he's not actually going to get hit. But knowing in his mind that he's going to get hit by this, even though he's not in range. So he's
But who? Give me a dexterity saving throw. Anyway, you're not going to get hit, but just do it.
okay. Let's see. Okay.
You just like slam up against the wall, like. Billy's like,
You okay?
Well, when you get exploded by everything in a fight, by literally everything.
I mean, it's just some hot steam.
yeah.
Yeah, at that moment when Jera came running up with her, what were you using, Jera? A sword to hit?
A
Yeah.
rapier.
A rapier. She came around with the rapier. Dill just instantly grabbed a plate and just put it up at that moment. So then it explodes. Good job. I believe in you.
So the threat has been extinguished, so to speak.
I cast mage armor.
Has the threat
Nice.
been what's the word?
Quelled.
Dang it.
Dissipated?
Precipitated?
Precipitated.
No,
Evaporated?
Extinguished.
not evaporated, the opposite.
Condensated.
Condens can let just be condensed.
Like milk.
Ugh.
Is the threat condensed milk? Whatever. Puns aren't worth it. Go on.
That was
What's one of you guys healed me? York says.
Oh,
did.
yes, I will do that.
Tusk will
Okay.
walk over. He'll put his hand on Jera and say, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And he hands out 2 potions of healing to whoever wants them.
like 2 each or 2 total?
2 total.
I do
Definitely
enjoy
reaching
the-
for one of them.
I do like the flavor of health potions. If there are no other objections. Yes.
I will just do a cure wounds real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Be like, save that for later.
But just to clarify, I didn't say I needed healing. I was asking who did heal me. By
Must
the
have been
way.
the wind.
Did
That would have been Archie.
Oh, I thought you were saying you're gonna drink it right now. Whatever, never mind.
no. I mean,
Can't find the spell anyway.
if you really want to heal someone, Jetta. I mean, I also enjoy the feeling of healing.
It's a good dopamine burst, honestly.
Yeah.
As long as that's all it is.
Well,
Billy
that's fine.
wants
Maybe I just
to-
imagined it if no one's claiming it.
Yeah,
So-
maybe.
Well, Billy, what are you wanting to do?
Billy would like to go like investigate the kitchen.
Sure.
He kind of wants to know where those came from, and also, does he have to deal with that all the time? Because might take a while.
Yeah, after seeing you come in, I'm like, oh, I unpeel myself from the wall.
Curdy follows you back in and says, "Billy, I swear this was not part of any recipe that I know of. I wasn't trying to mess with any of this. They just came out of nowhere." Go ahead and give me a investigation.
I am going to use one of my student dice,
Can Archibald help?
the 1d4.
Absolutely.
So
Tobias and I will search high. You go low. Wait,
Wait.
no, we'll go low. You go high.
So you will have advantage plus the D4 or D whatever. Oh, okay. 11 and 13 plus
15.
So 15. All right. With a 15, you see something kind of interesting coming out of the cauldrons along this back wall right here. That seems to be based on how much steam and just water on the ground there is. This seems to be where the steam methods had come from. You notice that there's that same oily black substance on some of the cauldrons that you saw get belched out by the frogs in Fire Jolt Cafe during the race or right after the race. And it's also the same black oily substance that you saw on the trunk during orientation. Pretty walks over and she's like, "That's an odd substance, but nothing that I've ever used in one of my cookings. It's probably It's probably one of the magic unguents that are used on campus. It probably got corrupted.
Ew, you guys got black mold in the kitchen?
Oh, it's not a mold. It's,
More of a slime.
yeah.
Is
Still,
that better?
no, it is not.
Ooze?
An unguent is it's like a ointment. It's used for cooking and also some healing things, but it's like an ointment.
Billy's gonna go. So, who else has been in the kitchen today besides yourself, of course? You know, we got Tusk has probably been through here. Anyone like new besides myself, I guess.
No, honestly, no. But even you haven't been here all day yet. I mean, it's your day off.
I actually haven't been here. Hmm.
Oh, I was gonna be like,
And
well, you're the most suspicious one. I'm like, oh, you didn't work.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Suspect
I-
number one. Here we go.
I just got
Do
here.
I feel
and
like
came with
anybody's
you
being
guys.
cagey or holding anything back?
You can give me a check for that.
Oh, I'm not good at insight.
Sometimes I have to think of the
7.
words. 7. With a 7, nobody seems like outwardly edgy or other than just being kind of stunned from the whole incident happening. Nobody seems to be particularly acting odd. But she continues and tells you, Billy, really, there's not been anybody in the kitchen other than our normal staff. Now, I mean, sometimes the things that we cook up get a little wild, but this just something seems weird about this.
Question: who does the cleaning? Is it just the employees who do the cleaning, or do you have a cleaning crew, magical, mechanical?
It's the employees that do the cleaning, but of course we do utilize magic in ways that could potentially help us. Mage hand and the such.
Of course. Thank you.
He's so nice. Can he work with
Is-
us?
I already have a job. Sorry. Maybe next year.
Or you could quit your other job and come work with me.
Or just work 2 jobs.
And don't stretch
Okay.
yourself. You really need to focus on your studies.
I don't know. Jera seems to be a part of a lot of activities. Maybe she could give me some pointers on how to
Or
manage my
I'll,
time.
I'll lean
effectively.
over to you as soon as you say that. It's like, she was the only one of us that failed.
That is a good point. I will consider it.
Is
Do
there?
I hear that?
Are you in the kitchen?
Mhm.
Technically not in the
Oh,
kitchen,
I
but I
guess
don't think
not.
anybody was trying to be necessarily quiet about it.
Well, I did lean
You
down
did.
and yeah.
I'm just out here scratching my panther behind the ears. I don't care.
Is there an empty
Good
vial or just a empty like jar, glass mason jar, something like that that Billy can procure from the kitchen?
Oh, sure, yeah. I thought you were looking for like one specific kind of jar or something, but no, if you're just
Something
looking for a
empty.
container, go for it.
Just an empty container. 100%. Billy has worked there 1 week, but he has already learned. Yeah, silverware walks off with the staff. Cool cups sometimes disappear. The management know about it. Just don't make it obvious, and they won't say nothing. It's fine.
I had an entire set of cups and silverware from Hemingway's for
I know you
years.
did.
Oh.
That's 100% where I'm like, yep, that's where the idea. Yeah. So Billy is going to try to like scoop up, not with his hands, he'll use like a spoon or a spatula, something probably flat, to put just some in a jar, like half
Mhm.
full. Screw a lid on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Archie will pull out his jar of black goop that he got from the frog race and say,
yeah.
"Hey, now we're twins."
Does the goo in his jar look different than the goo in Billy's jar?
Not particularly.
Okay.
But I mean, it could also be in the same way that like hydrogen peroxide and water look identical as well.
We definitely need to perform some tests.
Yeah, shots.
That's
No.
Oh.
not that sort of test.
Yeah,
I
magic
mean
tests.
more alchemy, because we have the same.
Alchemy.
Like we can do
Less.
shots after the test, but with something like
Yeah,
liquor.
but with alchemy, most of the time they did tests by taste at first. How do you think we know so much now?
It's true.
Billy definitely has a split second where you can see he's about to hand it over and be like, "You first," and then it's like,
Like he'll actually do it.
He'll do
Maybe I
it.
should.
No.
Hey,
I mean, how do you think we found out what mushrooms killed us? We died.
We watched animals do it.
True.
Like we didn't do it. We paid attention to the animals.
I mean, I'm
Um,
sure we did it at least once.
Miss Kitchen Manager, Chef Lady.
Yes.
Hi. Where should we go to get some ointments?
Where should you go to get some ointments? Like,
Yeah. Who's your ointment guy?
I mean, we usually get it from Quill Watch is where our
Quill Watch.
closest like food service delivery comes out from there every couple of weeks.
Right. Okay. Now is Quill Watch?
Mm-hmm.
Quill Watch. I'm gonna write that down.
You guys might, some of you would probably know. Quill Watch is a town just on the other side of the forest outside of the Serrano Weber Haven metropolis.
Are we allowed to leave campus?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, like a private school doesn't matter.
So maybe we swing by Quill Watch at some point, talk to supplier.
Sounds like a
Maybe.
good idea.
Awesome.
In fact, she doesn't urge you to do so, but certainly seems to not urge, but like a slightly lesser level of urging.
Encourage.
Encourage, thank you.
Yeah,
She does seem to
nice.
encourage you to make that trek. It is about a week's time to get there on foot. None of you own horses.
Hmm,
Well,
that is not my method.
We do now apparently have a panther.
But Jared does have a panther, but that panther only lasts until dawn and then will disappear. I guess you don't know that yet, though.
No. And then we just pull from the bag again and see what we get.
yeah, York's just like, I can't believe I just blindly gave a panther away. I'm like, sure, I'll win you whatever's in there.
Oh, yeah.
Immediate
So
regret.
Yeah, as far as Dell knows, that's a panther bag that she has.
Oh yeah.
So that's cool.
Do I get a
As far as I
trophy
know,
of
it's a
any
panther
kind?
bag.
Do you get a trophy of any kind?
Yeah, because York would definitely have hung it up.
I mean, he at least
no
gets a plaque on the wall, right?
No trophies or plaques. Your gift was bragging rights and the bag that you immediately gave away.
That was the thing.
Hey, it's
Oh,
really it's our bag.
Is there a stable on campus? I.e., is there somewhere we can rent horses?
Yeah, there would be.
We
Don't know. Let me pull up the stable prices.
stable. I assume it was a week by foot, but if we rent horses, it would be
It would
substantial.
be substantially less time.
It's a lot of school to miss.
What kind of mount are you thinking about?
The
You have,
fastest.
You have camels,
The horsey kind.
a draft horse, a riding horse, a mastiff, a pony, or a war horse.
So probably a horse, unless we can get like a draft horse with a wagon. Maybe 2 draft horse with a wagon. With the whole party in the
So
back.
a
War
wagon,
horse, obviously.
a wagon alone, or do you want a carriage?
Whatever's cheaper.
I mean, Billy would go with whatever's cheaper. He's not.
Okay.
He's not flashy.
So, one draft horse is 50 gold.
We're
So
walking.
two would be 100, and then a wagon 35 gold, and then 2 bits and bridles would be 4 gold total. So a total of 139 gold for 2 draft horses and a carriage.
To buy or to just like, is there a rental program?
That is the rent.
I mean,
They don't have like a school discount?
That is the school discount.
Really is like, my DM has said this is a bad idea, y'all. We're doing something else.
I have nothing like that. It's truly I have a list of prices and that's
there
what
it is.
Yep, Billy has
my-
made 5 gold this week. So no.
Yeah, my concern is that the time it would take to go to this other town. I will be missing classes and work and possibly group activities.
So that brings us to the next part of our world building of the classes. You can skip classes as much as you'd like. Really with no negative consequences outside of you just don't have that information necessarily, but you could probably pretty easily gather it. And in fact, when it comes to things like this, where you're doing things to better the school, it is highly encouraged to explore on your own in such cases. Once you don't have access to them as first levels and like as first years at Weber Haven, but once you got to Quill Watch, there are transportation circles. Transportation? No.
Teleportation.
Teleportation circles.
Do we know if there's a way to get like special permission to use teleportation circles?
It is extremely hard, and usually requires some paperwork and things that you don't necessarily have time for. But yes, there is a possibility. There is an exception board that you can go before to use them. But typically they say, unless it's in a matter of life and death, which this wouldn't qualify, you'll wait until your second year and then you'll have access to some of those.
Yeah,
What
we're
if-
still newbies.
What if we found a second year who is willing to break the rules?
And grant us access to the teleportation circle.
You also have to be able to foot the bill for the teleportation circle.
There it is.
Yeah, how much is that bill?
It's whatever you need for the teleportation spell.
That sounds like a lot.
Actually, guys,
it's verbal.
Erzmektalk is a second year.
Oh yeah, we could totally sucker him.
Just throwing that out there. I don't know the price of a teleportation spell. I haven't studied that yet.
So
But
the
Erzmektalk is a second year.
teleportation circle cost is you have to cast it in the same location every day for a year to make a permanent location. So the cost of building it is 50 gold times 365. 50 times 365. So 18,250 gold.
That's to make a permanent teleportation circle,
Make a
not to
permanent
just
teleportation
not to just use it.
Yes. So we're going to say that 50 people a year use it. To cover the cost, it would be about 300 gold. At the college campus. Paper, real life is like 10 cents a page.
Yeah,
Which is
true.
the dumbest. Colleges are expensive. And they find ways to make
Yeah.
it more expensive every time. Like every year.
Well, you're gonna say I'm not willing to miss class, but I'm sure I can get the dean to approve me getting recordings of the class if you guys really want to do this.
Recordings of the class are relatively common to get in touch with anyway.
I don't know if it's a strong enough lead to spend our money on quite yet.
I mean, at this point, we're also first year, so I don't know how much we need to be worrying about it. Even if we are the ones cleaning it up all the time.
Yes, there have
Well,
been
I mean, that's
two-
good because I wasn't even worried.
There have been three incidents in total, I suppose, over these past few weeks.
Did anyone get a jar of ooze from the mimic chest? I think we forgot that one.
I don't think I did.
No, I
That's-
didn't go
No,
anywhere
I
near it.
remember that thing almost eating me.
Should have grabbed it.
I mean, that means you were the closest to the ooze and should have,
Yep.
grabbed it. So
Billy and I did.
Well,
We're twins.
I'll just
We could've been
leave you guys
triplets.
to it. You guys are experts at it. I'll let you handle the ooze gathering.
Dell, let me
Mhm.
see who else. Let's see. Dell especially, but I think just Dell really. Nope. Archie, you would also be interested in it. So Dell and Archie, you guys wouldn't necessarily be against wanting to leave campus for a little bit, because two reasons. One, your arcanobotany class is requiring you to gather some raw materials, and your teacher has kind of pointed out in those directions of the forest, at least, and gathering them. And two, that's just compounded on the Fantastical Horticultural Club, likes to deal with any of those sorts of things.
That's
So the thing that you are asked to gather, I have it written down. Give me a moment. Oh, where is it? Here it is. Frog leaves. Frog leaves.
Frog leaves. Cool. So yeah, after talking over just a few different options with everybody, I'm gonna look over to Archie and be like, "Well, me and Archie actually have some materials together, in the woods or wilds or wherever.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
Yes.
Do you know what you're looking for?
Frog leaves.
Frog leaves. I know, ironic, right?
Yeah.
I totally made that up, the name, but it is an actual plant. It's also known as the common or broad-leaved plantain.
Plantains.
It is interesting. It is used as a poultice and an antiseptic applied to open wounds or blisters. Also used as a rheumatism medication and to make tea for upset bellies.
Aw.
But it is commonly known as the frog leaf. So there's an actual, I made it up, but there's an actual like arcanobotany reason for wanting to collect this thing.
Hey, nice. Isn't that how things work out?
Nature's Band-Aid is what it's called also. Wow.
Nature's Band-Aid.
You're just like, oh yeah, we learned about this in class.
Like, oh yeah, now I remember. Yes.
Plantain.
Frog leaf for upset tummies. Yes.
Yeah.
Billy be like, so how far in the forest do you guys have to go? I mean, two birds, one stone. I think we could manage, You guys
Well-
want company.
Well, sure. I mean, we could do some exploring. I don't know if we need to walk a week's worth away, but
But I mean, if we're already
I-
going out there, might as well, check out the women guy.
we still don't have a solution to how to get all the way over there, cost
Well,
effectively though.
It's either a me thing or an us thing, but we tend to get attacked, so I guess I'll stay near you guys. Just make sure you guys don't get killed.
I might be able to turn into a horse for an hour twice a day. I haven't tried it yet, but there is a
Could you-
possibility.
Carry 4 of us.
Well, not four.
No.
We have a panther now.
Oh, yeah, okay, so 3. Hey, yeah.
Um,
I mean, like
I
a
could-
big horse.
like
Also,
a
that
riding
sounds like
horse.
advanced magic. That level of transmutation is impressive.
The way I'm going about this is really reliant on nature. It boosts some things, but kind of, harms you in some others.
Ah, well, we have Yorick
Well-
here to protect you.
Yeah, I don't have anything like turning into a horse or anything, but I can run good.
How much was a wagon again? Only like 50, right?
The
I
wagon
mean,
was
if-
it was a bit and bridle and then wagon price. Okay, yeah.
Wagon was 35.
I just want to reiterate that I can turn into a horse for 2 hours per day. I just want that to be clear that I have said 2 hours per day before you attach me to a wagon. Yet again, 2 hours per day.
Well, how far do you think you can go? 2 hours with a wagon
Okay,
in a
Use
day.
Archie
Okay,
for
but
2
I think-
hours, then Yorick for the other.
I think a
Yeah.
better question, instead of asking, to hook up Archie, how would you feel if you were hooked up by wagon?
I would be proud to take you guys anywhere you needed to go.
I wouldn't.
At a strain, he would get you about 6 miles.
Out of
walk.
how many miles?
At a
6
string,
miles in 2 hours.
Uh,
I'm gonna call BS on that.
Pulling a
My
carriage.
I could pull a carriage walking that fast, as long as it was downhill.
How many miles is it to Cool Watch?
Where is my map?
It's a week's journey walking.
Like an average.
A normal person walks about, like a hiker would walk about 30 miles a day max. So 30 times 7, 210 miles.
I don't think the horse idea is a good idea. Forget I said it.
Okay. However, most hiking authorities say that the average person can hike about 8 to 15 miles per day.
Oh,
I'm gonna call BS on the 35.
I said 30.
Okay. That's still double what an actual average person can walk. Dude, you know this. You know how far an average person can walk. You know how far a crazy person can walk in a night. You know that they can only do that one night.
A crazy person. Just relate to a normal person, you're good to go.
If a
Just adjust
walker
that.
is well trained and takes breaks, they can walk about 20 to 30 miles a day. Advanced walkers,
Are you gonna argue that distance is gonna be based on advanced walkers? No, it's gonna be based on an average individual,
My character walks with a cane also.
not his character.
What is the horse? So does the horse limp or?
No, horse is fine. Horse is fine.
Yes. I am still gonna go search for the frog leaf. I do not see a easy way to access Quill Watch at this time.
I mean, I haven't been off campus in like 3 weeks now, so if y'all want company, I'm gonna company.
Yes. Oh, also, perhaps you can help me keep an eye out. I am also in search of a familiar, but I haven't decided on what type of creature to do yet.
Ooh, what are you thinking? I mean, we've got everything from frogs to panthers, apparently.
Apparently, there's so many options. So if you see something interesting, let me know, and I will write it down.
Maybe like a bird.
Like,
seem like someone who would
York's
have a-
going through his notes, and he's like, "So the familiar is like, kind of like your magical pet, right?" And he's trying to,
Yes,
and then
exactly.
he's like, "Yes, I remember." And I didn't find it in the notes.
You didn't. You didn't even have to ask Billy. That you had it yourself. Look at that. We're learning.
You've been studying, I see.
He mutters under his breath, "So much."
so
Billy-
you're
Billy's
gonna
so-
take a long weekend. You're gonna take Friday and Monday off your classes, and you'll have 4 days. So you're not gonna be able to take the 2 weeks necessarily to get all the way out to Quill Watch, but you do have a couple of days that you can spend out in nature, gathering frog leaf. Somebody give me a wisdom check.
Check.
Ooh, I'm good at wisdom.
Yeah,
I'm
just
okay.
straight wisdom.
Don't forget you got inspiration.
That's the thing. I'm wondering if I want to use it or not.
York's gonna bring enough of
Oh,
Mountain
I'll leave it.
Dew shocking grass for us during this trip. No other food. Like, he just brings the soda.
Like Billy has the full on pack, and he's wearing
Oh,
khaki
yeah.
shorts with the long white socks.
Oh
And,
no!
like, he just- He sees what York brings. He's like, "Oh, Have you ever gone camping before? You want-
What's that?
Have you ever slept outside in nature?
Yes,
like
like every day.
I've slept in like the pool house, which is like away from the main house, and that's like
What's a pool?
Billy is like
it's what you.
in-
It's like
He's
where
in between
water
two.
is that was intentionally man-made. That's not like a pond or something. It's
So
for
it
like
makes-
exercise.
saw those for cows before, man-made pond.
Oh yeah,
It was not
cows.
something you really wanted to swim in though.
No, cow ponds are not good.
No.
Mm.
Billy
Cows
is
look-
like, you can tell slightly excited. He's like, "You've never been camp? Oh, I didn't bring enough marshmallows.
I can like hear
Do
his
you know how to?
bad accent coming out.
Now I can tell you, I do like marshmallows.
Oh, have you ever have you ever had campfire marshmallows, campfire s'mores?
Well, I'm gonna go on a limb that I haven't been camping before. Probably not.
Well, I mean, technically, you don't like. Maybe you had a fire pit by your pool bungalow. I mean,
Oh yeah. No, I had something like that.
okay, this is gonna be better than that. And Billy like looks around. He's like, "Okay, everyone, we're gonna make a campfire. I did bring supplies for s'mores. It's one of the non-essentials that is still
Yes.
quite essential.
I'm curious about your s'mores. Yes.
You've never had s'mores?
No, I'm
I
not
don't even know
familiar
what
with
that
this
is.
recipe.
Okay, thank goodness. I thought I was dumb here. It was something
No,
common.
no,
Billy's like,
I've-
whoa. Has anyone else here had real campfire s'mores?
I don't think so.
Jetta?
Dara?
You are
Campfire
muted.
s'mores?
You have to take the tape off your mouth, Jera.
I feel like Jera has had campfire s'mores.
Okay.
She's probably quite
Okay, so
enthusiastic about
I guess
them.
I'll ask the question: what's in a s'more?
Okay. So first, it's actually quite an involved process. So there's three main ingredients. You got graham cracker, you got chocolate, and you got the marshmallow. But here's the thing. You can take those three ingredients and you can just mix mash them all that you want, and it matters how you cook them. Okay, so did you ever cook the marshmallow over the fire? I didn't bring enough sticks for everyone. It's okay. I'll make a new one. I got a knife. I can make you guys your own sticks. So you have to roast the marshmallow over the fire. But here's the thing. You have to do it so that it's perfectly golden brown all around the edges. And I swear, none of you have had a burnt marshmallow, so you can't tell me that it's better that way. And she Belly looks down at Jara and is like, right? Burnt marshmallows are the worst.
Well, I could probably agree that burnt anything is not good.
Yeah, tell that to my wife.
Jera is just gonna be a people pleaser and be like, the worst. Yeah, what you said.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, my wife will set them on fire and just watch them burn.
That sounds awesome.
This seems like an
It's
inefficient way of
burnt!
cooking. Well,
Tim's just playing
Okay,
himself.
that's fair.
It's disgusting. Yeah, a little bit. My wife does like them burnt, and it's the
oh, she
worst.
actually does.
This is
Yeah,
I'm
I don't like-
channeling real world here.
yeah, I don't like burnt marshmallow. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no. Golden brown.
Golden brown.
She'll set them on fire and watch them burn for a second, and then blow them out and eat
quick-
it. And I'm like, oh,
Quick tangent. My wife also likes them burnt, but she is the best at making them perfectly golden. So what she does is she takes the time to make it perfect, looks me in the eye, and then
No.
sticks it into the fire.
No.
no.
Katie, don't. No. Just on that, Katie, no.
This is sadistic.
That is funny.
So you guys get ready for your trip. You have
Yep.
all of your things, and you guys head out onto the road. York needs to put his kids to bed fairly soon.
I actually do too.
As we head out onto the road, we'll get out to what happens. But let us reconvene at just a little bit after 8:30. Just a touch after. Let's jump right into this. So you guys have traveled about a day's worth out into the forest when the clear, crisp spring weather suddenly takes a change for the worse. There's dark clouds that cover the skies and heavy rain begins to fall. It turns torrential within minutes and forms sudden streams along the road. Lightning stabs down from murky clouds above, and the rain soaks through your clothes, and hard winds tear at your clothes. Not far away, a nearby chestnut tree falls to the ground after being struck by lightning. However, Billy, you notice farther ahead, there's a single light that's shining through the downpour. And it is the welcoming glow of a warm fire inside of a roadside inn. Drop.
Billy's definitely gonna be like, okay, let's make it to there. Come on, we're almost there.
It's not camping if we sleep inside.
We don't have to camp tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll just wait out the weather.
Because of some thunderstorm?
It is.
And at that moment, a bolt of lightning goes overhead, and Billy just like points. Yes.
My family are renowned tempests. Like I'm not afraid of some lightning.
Well, more about the whole water situation and soaking our clothes and getting.
York and I will go hammock while you guys, wuss out.
Sure thing. I'll be inside.
I mean, I'll look at Archie's like, I'll give it a shot.
No, wait. If lightning strikes the tree we're hammocking in, that would be bad.
I mean, I could use like my sword as like a lightning rod and not strike us.
Are you immune to lightning damage?
I am not immune to lightning damage. Pull that up.
Archie
Do
will.
you really want to tempt the DM with holding up your sword in a lightning storm?
I was like, it was more like I would put it somewhere, not me holding it.
Oh, so you'd put it on the ground next to you, so when the lightning dissipates through the ground.
I didn't say next to me.
So you're
Much
gonna
like-
put it in the ground in the middle of a forest
And then walk away.
and walk away.
And some NPC is gonna be walking through the forest and see it get struck by lightning and be like, I'm the chosen one.
Yeah, and then he'll get
The
shot for
weapon,
not
which isn't
being.
actually even metal because it's summoned.
And then since this person is not a Weber or a Balladmore, they would take shocking damage even touching her.
Oh, that's a
Or a
sad
weapon.
story. Okay, what's this, John? What's this NPC's name? He needs a name because he's now dead.
Tim.
You know what? I'm not gonna
I
lie.
just sit up and
I would try to grab it.
I wouldn't.
I
It's
sit up
forward
and
in
be
the middle
like,
of the in the middle of the ocean, in the middle of the forest.
Even wilder if it's in the middle of the ocean and I can manage to get to it.
I too would name it Stormcaller though if it got struck by lightning and I got it. Yeah, Stormcaller.
I mean that is almost what happened, so that's why it's called that.
So, scene setting: torrential downpour,
Mhm.
lots of lightning, lots of thunder,
In the
super
distance.
crazy windy. You can camp if you want, but it is very dangerous. Or there's a small inn that Billy has noticed just up ahead. You don't have to go to the inn either. You can do whatever the heck you want. It's D&D, but
Man, magic.
Billy and Dell
Let's
are going
go.
to the end.
Yeah, we're going to the
And
end.
Archibald will, as they walk away, Archibald will say, "I don't want to have to heal you again," and then walk away towards the end.
It was you.
Jera, where are you? What do you?
I'm like, I don't want them to
Sarah,
feel bad,
like a
and I'll head that
small,
way.
chipmunk is frozen in place by the loud thunder.
Oh,
So some people are going inside, some people are staying outside.
No,
The only
everyone's
We're all
person
going
sitting
inside.
outside right now is Yorick, and he's more just doing it out of stubbornness.
He just
Well,
got his arms crossed.
Jared definitely brought like so many books and is desperate to get them out of the rain.
So
And
she's
so-
just like high knees.
He hasn't even been here for this conversation.
She's already gone. She's already in the inn. Tucked in.
Billy's like, I think I see an inn up there. And she,
And we're like,
In fact, when they walk into the inn, like she's already curled up with a blanket and a hot cocoa and a book by the fireplace.
Love
love
it.
the idea that like there's a table with just all the other books kind of laid out to dry real quick. It's just covered all the surfaces.
like sometimes I feel like Jera is like a pet or something. She just appears and just disappears. Or like, where's Jera? Oh, she's here. Okay.
Oh, the Panther gone? This is a new day, correct?
Oh
This
yeah,
is a new day.
So yeah.
100%. At some point, Billy had been like, so did you decide not to bring the Panther on an excursion into the wilds? It was a really cool Panther.
She's just gonna reach into the bag and pull out a little fuzzy ball and just hand it to him.
Billy take and be like, okay, but what about the Panther? Like I don't know if he necessarily connected the dots. That's
Oh, I definitely didn't.
Yeah.
No.
She's
So,
gonna
like,
just gonna
he
turn a
asks a
page.
question,
She
you're
has
like,
lots
fuzzy
of
ball.
studying.
Like, ugh.
There's lots of
So,
studying to do. She's not gonna look up. She's not just gonna turn a page and say, "Throw it."
Inside?
You guys aren't even at the inn yet. Like,
yeah, this is before.
just right before Jared took off, she handed this to you.
Oh, I like that. It's like we're about to set off on the journey, and Billy's like, "Are you Panther? Where's the Panther?" And so Billy's just like, "Do I throw it at you, or do I just like throw it up? What is this?
What?
You throw it and say, "I choose you."
Which direction do I throw it?"
That way, to the north.
I don't have the answers.
Unless you have an affinity for
I
the
don't know.
east.
Figure it out. Figure it out.
Does your
Billy
spirit
just-
naturally pull south?
I choose you. He definitely has a I don't know this magic moment where he's like, okay, I'm just gonna do what they say. These young kids and their weird fur balls.
Okay, give me a D8.
See what it is.
On
Doesn't matter on it doesn't matter on this roll. It's fine.
Yeah,
Be a dragon.
it's not. But
It
yeah.
lands on the ground with a little squink. SQUOINK, a squink.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And the furball turns into a weasel.
That is not a panther.
Yeah, like Billy's gonna turn back to Jen and be like, okay, so I threw where's the Panther? Why is there a weasel now?
She's already like, "Oh," and she's running towards it and like pick it up. It's a woozle, was it?
Billy's gonna look at probably Dell.
She's going to be friendly and see if it is amiable to the idea of being picked up.
It is.
She's gonna pick it up and she's gonna hold it out and be like, "Look at its little face.
That is a very cute creature.
Cute. He's more than cute. He's beautiful." She's
I
gonna
apologize.
I apologize.
like, "I'm too tired to ask you your name, so I'm just gonna call you. What should I call him? Marshmallow."
But I tend to call those weasels since it's a weasel, but you do you.
All right, Mr. Orc.
I mean, I vote Marshmallow. That's fucking adorable.
All right, Mr. Mrs.
Mr.
I don't remember.
Mrs.
I don't remember if you're a gnome or a halfling.
Oh yeah, which one? I forget. Yeah, I forgot too.
She's a
written down
halfling?
somewhere.
He is a halfling.
Halfling is what it was. Let me make sure I have that written down.
She's a home.
All right, Mrs. Hapley
Oh, I don't have it written down. It's right
or
there.
Miss.
Okay, so
I'm just saying it's awful reductive to reduce someone down to their entire species.
I'm an elf.
Marshmallow here is more than a weasel.
I'm a-
It chitters in your hand. Points its finger at Yorick, flips him off. On your shoulder.
He's probably got hopes and dreams and you know,
Standing on her shoulder with its front paws on the tips.
It's a very intelligent marshmallow.
and why would we assume he'd be anything less?
I apologize.
well, you're assuming he's a he, so
I mean, to be fair, it was formerly a lint ball, so you know.
Aren't we all?
To be
Well,
fair,
you were formerly
weasels are
something a
actually
little
quite stupid.
smaller and a little less impressive than a lint ball, if you really think about it.
Yeah, weasels have a 2 for intelligence, but they do have a 12 for wisdom. So take with that what you will.
More of a weasel than.
Nice.
No, don't laugh at that. Nobody
Don't
laugh
do
at
it,
that. Okay, so
So let's flash
to
forward.
retcon the scene,
Yes.
as it starts torrentially downpouring, Billy has a weasel in his hair. To continue, Jera has run ahead to the inn. The rest of you have trudged through with all of your things. What's before you is a building that is 3 centuries old and obviously built to withstand rough weather. The sign says the Old Wolf Inn. It is a 2-story building in dark oak and stone, much of which is covered by a white weather-worn cladding. The rainfall gushes down from a thick thatched roof that extends over the windows on the upper floor. A weather vane spins madly in the savage winds next to a wide rectangular brick chimney. The sign, which features a crude illustration of a ragged wolf with bared fangs, has been torn from its chains by the storm and has landed in the flooded flower beds that run around the building. Next to the inn are the stables, a simple but solid stone building, large enough for half a dozen or more mounts. There's also a small outhouse around the corner of the building that the wind threatens to tear the roof off at any moment. As you step inside, you hear the wind howl outside, but the welcoming sense of newly baked bread and spiced tea fill the air indoors. The whitewashed walls are decorated with a couple of mounted stag antlers and old woodworking tools. Over the large open fireplace hangs a massive wolf skin. There is a bar to your left and a staircase that leads upstairs at the end of the room. 5 other guests are gathered in the room along with Jera, who is already cozied up with a book, cocoa, and a blanket. You quickly notice that everybody looks tense and uneasy. Welcome to the Old Wolf Inn, a woman says as she dry washes her hands anxiously. My name is Inga. I'm glad you found my inn despite this dreadful weather. Although I'm sorry to say that I'm afraid you've arrived in a most unfortunate evening. It appears there's been a terrible accident here at the inn. Another woman in not armor, but like a breastplate on, not full knight armor, but some, walks up. There's been a death, she says in a blunt tone and looks between all of you. My superior, Lieutenant Artemis Nahana, has just been found dead. I'm afraid that there might be foul play involved. In other words, a murder has been committed.
Yorick will pull out his viola and go dun dun dun.
Seems in poor taste.
I mean, Billy was definitely chewing on, you mean a murder
Damn.
most foul?
He did.
Why? What happened foul? Also, you played the viol horribly.
I saw
he
that.
kind of did.
I mean, the instrument might have been a little bit wet, you know.
To go.
He didn't tune it first, yeah.
Which makes it even worse.
So
Billy's be like, excuse my companion. Our condolences. We were hoping to find shelter from the storm for some time. Is this like a crime scene, or can we stay and be dry?
And preferably not murdered.
The soldier looks at you. She's in a military guard uniform. That's a Weberhaven insignia on your backpack, is it not? She points to Billy's bag.
Yes, yeah, we're students.
Oh, you're from Weberhaven. I graduated from there long time ago. But
What college?
strict. I don't recall the name of it.
Wow. Was it
Okay.
Lorehold? Was it Silverquill?
Silverquill?
Was it
Silverquill
Witherbloom?
does sound familiar. It might have been
Typical.
I kind of thought the college was a bigger deal than that. Sorry, it's just
I didn't finish. I didn't finish my schooling there. I got my first couple of years and then went off back to Quill Watch and finished up my school a little bit closer to home. But nonetheless, that is beside the point. The Inga pipes in. You of course are allowed. You can stay here. You can stay here. We're just trying to kind of get our minds wrapped around kind of everything that's been going on. The guard puts a hand out for honestly anybody to shake. My name is Kara Tanner. We are part of the Quill Watch guards. We are headed back in that direction when this event occurred. I really feel that our biggest issue right now is that we need some kind of outside opinion on looking over this case. I was here tonight. That makes me a suspect. Everybody else that's here tonight, except for that girl.
she's with us.
Okay.
Jera has definitely been has heard about murder and is present and paying attention.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Just that you had arrived first, so she wasn't fully aware.
In my mind's eye, Jera is definitely the type to like, even about the morbid, be excited, and she's just bouncing on like the balls of
Oh
her
yeah,
feet.
she is very excited about the intrigue, but she's trying to be respectful.
I think having an outside view of the occurrences.
We'll do it. I mean, we would be happy to, if it would be appropriate. Where did it happen?
Actually, before we start offering our services, perhaps we could gain a favor from you out of this, Mr. Guard, Mrs. Guard. Guard person.
Sorry, a man is dead. A woman, someone is dead.
Yes, but
it's possible that I could do something in return for you.
just to talk to a guy about some ointments from Cool Watch. We don't have the time to go out all the way over there, but if you could do us a favor, we could definitely help you here.
I'm certain that I would be able to help you with that.
Nice.
So it's midday. You couldn't tell by looking outside, but it is midday. Inga goes back behind the counter in preparation of some food. There is a menu if anybody would be interested in looking at it, but otherwise, Kara deems you temporary independent inspectors of Quill Watch's guard and has tasked you with finding out anything you can about Lieutenant Artemis Nahana's death.
Artemis.
Billy is definitely gonna pull out a notebook from his bag and like flip past some of his notes that he had, from his physiology class, and just be like, he's taking down names.
Right.
He's definitely gonna interview her first.
Of course. Let me give you just a brief introduction of where we are so far. The owner, her name is Inga Broadhammer. She's a dwarf, innkeeper of this place. You also notice that she's walking with a slight limp around the tables as she serves drinks to everyone. Kara then points to another man, an elderly man with wild white hair and matching unruly eyebrows, who is standing in a corner and looking distant and absent-minded. He's wearing a tattery dark green robe and worn sturdy leather boots. At present, he is engrossed in a mumbling conversation with his tame raven, who sits on his shoulder and apparently is listening patiently to him. Kara says, "This is Enoch, the bird whisperer, and his raven Crow. I myself am Kara Tanner. This is John Callion. They are both human. He is standing next to the open fireplace. Both are dressed in military guard uniforms and carry weapons. Kara has short, bushy black hair and a small scar across her eyebrows. John is rather handsome with a brown side-swept hair in his late 30s who looks concerned and serious. Kara tells you that she was second in command after Lieutenant Artemis and therefore is now acting in charge.
Suspicious.
She points to a male half-elf who is sitting at one of the round tables with an aloof expression on his face while sipping tea from a large mug. He has long auburn hair tied back, and he wears a fine sky blue robe with silver moon crescents and an elegant pointed hat in gray velvet. That is Kyle Thryliv. And the last that she points to is this ever-smiling and fidgeting merchant that she says his name is Hugo von Silverton. He is a short and chubby man with golden rings on all of his fingers. He has thinning black hair and a rosy face. He sits in a private booth near the fireplace and looks nervous as he constantly dabs his forehead with a monogrammed handkerchief. So to begin things, I'm going to give you a copy of the map of the first level. I'm going to drop it into our chat here. Maybe. There you go. So that gives you an idea of where you currently are. You can see the pathway coming up from the very bottom of the map to a set of double doors that are white in color. That is where you entered.
Ah, yes.
And what do you want to do?
Billy wants to first not investigate, interview Kara.
Kara? Okay.
And have they told us where the scene of the crime is? And is there still a body
They haven't
somewhere?
told you anything else. Yeah, Inga mentions that the body is upstairs, but doesn't mention anything else outside of that. But she's also quite shaken too. So
York will put on his armor and have his weapon just on his back, and standing next to Billy, kind of protecting himself and Billy.
okay.
I guess Jera will gently ask if she can be shown the body
Sure.
and
Inga.
the scene of the crime in no particular order.
Okay. Inga grabs a set of keys out of a wooden box from behind the bar. It's kind of on the wall. Holds the keys for all of the room. And she kind of waves for you to follow her upstairs.
I'm gonna go with Jera.
Yeah,
Sure.
I was gonna be like, "There's a murder. You going by yourself?"
No, we'll go. We'll go.
Okay. Let me pull up my notes for everything. So Inga is taking Jara and Dell up to the room. Billy is going to be interviewing Kara. Archie, where are you going? Or what are you doing?
Archie's going to sit across from Hugo von Silverton and stare at him for an uncomfortably long amount of time before finally asking him the first question.
Okay. And then Yorick, where are you going?
With Billy.
With Billy. Okay. Let's go ahead and start with Jara and Dell. Let me pull up my notes. Okay. So the crime scene. Inga takes you upstairs, and directly across from the top of the stairs is a door, and she unlocks this door. It's a rather large room. It is certainly more than likely the finest and largest of the rooms at the inn. It's painted in sage green with a golden picture rail. The fireplace is larger than those in the other guest rooms. 2 empty candlestick holders and brushed iron are fitted along the wall, and a large chest of drawers stands near a desk. The air is chilly and damp. The still shape of a man lies face down on the bed. There's no immediate sign of struggle or violence.
And is what's her face staying in the room with us, or
She's standing at the doorway. If you would prefer one way or the other, you can always ask her. But as of right now, she's just standing in the doorway, kind of twiddling the keys in her hands.
so Jared will say, I know this might be difficult for you, so if you prefer, you could leave us to it. Trying, of course, to persuade her to leave.
Of course. I'll be just downstairs. If you need me. Does anybody want anything to drink or eat? Of course not. You're on a crime scene. I'm just gonna go downstairs. And she leaves.
I don't know if I'll be eating for a while.
I mean, at least it's not a particularly gruesome death. Particularly.
Oh, I didn't think of that possibility. I've never seen a dead body before.
Oh, you
I
haven't?
mean, not like this anyway.
I thought
Not a
you
fresh one.
done this before. You were so excited.
Oh, it's a real life murder. Well,
It's a real
or choice
dead
of words, maybe.
murder. Yes, real. It's true. Life does not last as long as most people would think. So, let's
Well, not for this fella, anyway.
Yes, let's see how he died.
It's a good thing he's not naked. That would be awkward.
Yes.
And we'd have to stand here and be all professional or whatever.
Or, just leave.
Well, how would that look if we go up to the, well, we're fine with the murder, but the naked we can't handle, and we just leave.
They'd probably think we're just first year students.
All right. So what you want to look at the body first?
Sure. I will investigate the body.
Yes.
Okay. The things that you can see with even before your investigation, he's clearly dead. His skin is discolored and his face is a ghastly mix of black and blue. He's wearing a quill watch guard uniform, but no armor. Kind of just pat him down. His pockets have a little leather bag that holds a couple of coins, if that's something you would be interested in. With your 11 investigation, you're not really seeing a whole lot more on him that's giving you any other information of how he died. He just looks like a dead body. Honestly, it's the first dead body you've seen, so.
So then, I'd like to look over him as well. So
Sure.
there's no wounds. He's just not breathing, essentially.
You can either give me an investigation or a medicine check.
I'm gonna do.
I don't think he's gonna make it.
I'll go investigation. I'm gonna use that inspiration from Jara earlier.
Okay. Okay.
14.
With a 14, you notice that the victim seems to have died of some unnatural death. If you had to take a guess by some of the foaming in the mouth, and by just other signs of the body and the coloration, you'd say he was either strangled or maybe poisoned, not 100% sure. You take a closer look at his skin. He does have a cut across his rib cage, which has been bandaged. The wound is fresh, but has just started to heal. It looks like it might have been from like a grazing arrow or like a crossbolt, some kind of skimmed right by him and cut him wide. But you don't notice anything else on the body other than those things.
Heard that.
Is there anything else you'd like to look at in this room?
Yeah, I'd like to look all around this room. Look
Sure.
for murder weapons, look for signs of entry, routes of entry. If I was going to murder this guy, how would I do it?
Okay. Go ahead and give me just a general perception check. And then we'll go from there.
Are
I'm
you
gonna.
sure you wouldn't rather
gonna-
have investigation?
Perception first.
Yes, I was gonna say I was gonna help you out with that.
Okay, so you'll take.
Oh, he's gonna help me. Well, then I'm getting the 9.
Okay.
Yay. I'm rolling poorly. These are my good.
With a 9, you notice the basics of the room. There's the bed and bedside table, a desk, and a chest of drawers. That might be interesting to look through, for any other clues. You also notice that one of the windows is just slightly ajar. And when you look out that window, you notice that there is someone approaching the inn through the window. With that, let's skip over to Archibald. You are sitting across from our. Sorry, something made a weird noise. You're sitting across from our friend, the
Hugo von Silverton.
on Silverton. Okay. So you've sat there across from him for a while. He is certainly a little bit shaken. What do you say?
So what happened?
What happened? I'm not exactly 100% sure exactly what happened. We all slept last night. We were all sleeping. And then this morning, Karis, that guard lady, starts banging on everybody's doors, saying everybody needs to come downstairs. No one's allowed to leave. Totally off my game now. I'm supposed to be half a day's worth down the road by now. But unless we're stuck here, she says, hey, my lieutenant got killed. And one of us did it, which is like, how does she know? Like, how in the world is she going to know? What if she did it? She probably did it.
So why did you kill him?
Why did she kill him? Why does anybody kill anybody?
No, why did you kill him?
Why did I kill him? I didn't kill him. I don't even
Okay.
know the guy. Why would I kill him?
Noted.
He looked pretty pale when he went to bed, though, last night. So I bet you that guard and Inga, I bet they're in cahoots. He kind of yelled at her earlier, like Inga the night before. He kind of like yelled at her, snapped at her, and she didn't look too happy. But like, Kara wasn't too happy about it either. But I bet she wants to be in control. She wants to be the next one up. I bet they did something.
You said the dead guy yelled at Inga?
Yeah.
And Kara wasn't happy.
No.
What time did they come in last night?
Let's see. I was eating dinner, so it was probably about 7-ish when they came in. Well, let me take that back. They were Kara was here already when I got here. Those two showed up a little bit later. But it seems like they already had a room and everything already. Like maybe they came here with her and then left and then they came back. I don't know where they were, what they did, but they came in a bit later around 7.
So you've only been here since yesterday?
Yeah, I came in yesterday.
Don't leave town. No, wait.
Talk to the
Oh.
freaking guard. I can't even leave the room.
It's probably good.
Let's skip over to Billy and Yorick. You are sitting down across from Kara. What do you want to say to her?
So Billy's got his notebook and he's sharpened his pencil and he's like, okay. So I guess if we're gonna, I don't know, assist in an investigation or something, we need to get some facts. So let me a time. We need to establish a timeline. You can tell he's pulling just a smidge. So when did we actually learn the dead guy's name?
Artemis.
Good.
Artemis Arhana. When did Artemis? When was Artemis's body discovered?
This morning.
This morning.
I got up right with dawn. Went to go check on him. Saw that his door was slightly ajar. Knocked and entered when I didn't hear a response. Found him face down on the bed,
Okay.
pulseless. I then went to each individual room, knocked on them, and demanded that everybody come down to the common room. And I've been pretty much interviewing since, trying to figure out what's going on.
And are you sure that the people present are the only people who've been here? No one left yesterday evening, last night that you know of?
As far as I'm aware, it's a full house, and all of the people that were here last night are here again this morning, minus, of course, the one who is no longer with us.
Where were I assume you and your your companion were all traveling together. Where were you guys heading?
We are headed back toward Quill Watch. We we were coming from Serrano to Quill Watch. We had delivered a prisoner. On our way back, Artemis had received a letter, and he and John were on a mission together last night. Well, yesterday afternoon. They returned yesterday evening. Artemis had decided that we should leave the camp that we had, as he had important news to deliver to the captain of the guard. He didn't say what kind of information that was, but I do believe that he was wounded during the mission. But he hit it. He didn't say anything, but he doesn't like to show signs of weakness, of course. So we ended up staying here for the night. One of our horses threw a shoe, so figured we'd fix that. The stable boy in the morning, storm rolled in. It just ended up working out. We stay here for the night.
Okay. Let's see. What did the prisoner do that you were taking to Serrano?
It was a prisoner. They had murdered somebody in Serrano, had escaped out to Quill Watch. We ended up capturing him out there. We were just bringing him back so that he could stand trial.
Okay. Okay. And this mission that Artemis and John went on yesterday, do you know anything about that?
I honestly, I really don't. I know that he received a letter by Crow yesterday late morning. He kept it to himself pretty much, and he and John were sent to the mission, and I stayed behind with the horses and everything at our campground until they got back, and we moved our way over here.
If you don't mind me asking, why did he take John and not and like Billy pretends to flip through his notes. His number 2.
Honest to God, I really couldn't tell you. I think he just grabbed one of us and went on, but
So what do you think? I presume you've looked over the body. You had to check for a pulse. What do you assume the cause of death was?
there's no outward signs of any kind of struggle. There's no stab wounds other than just the wound that he has on his side. Like I said, he was hiding, more than likely got damaged during the mission. I would say in that case, based on what I see, is probably strangulation.
Strangulation. Okay. I mean, obvious wounds to the neck. I mean, could the
He was discolored by the time I found him. I'm not 100% sure what the time of death would be. However, the discoloration, his face is so cyanotic that I feel like I've seen people who have been strangulated. So, I mean, it seems to kind of sort of fit the picture.
Okay.
What I've been trying to figure out is who did it.
That was my next question. In your opinion, who do you think is the most likely person to have done this?
I don't know. Looking at all of the people in the room, it really seems as though just about anybody could have done it, maybe except for, the innkeeper. She's quite small, but to overpower them, I mean, we have some rather larger men here. It wouldn't, I mean, yes, he's a guard, he's in good shape, but I mean, if you caught him by surprise, not really much you could do to stop that.
Okay. Okay. And he like taps his nose. He's like, okay, I think I got some leads. I'm gonna go talk to goes to John next and see what we can learn from him.
As you stand and kind of start to part ways, the door opens and a woman enters. She is a female half orc. She whistles to herself as she walks in, singing a song, and heads over to the counter, like saying hi to everybody, like, oh, yeah, and sets things down on the counter, a little basket. Inga, your delivery for the day. Inga comes around the corner out of the back of the kitchen and says, oh, this is really not a good time, Vitra. Here, I'll just, how much is it? It's 10 gold, of course. Yeah, okay. And she reaches into, a satchel behind the desk or behind the bar, pulls out the coins and says, here, just take it. And she grabs the basket and puts it behind the counter. Kara stops Vitra when she turns around to leave, and says, do you mind sitting here for a moment? There's been a murder and we are trying to figure out what's going on, and maybe you can answer some questions. A murder? I wouldn't know anything about that necessarily, but sure, I can answer a couple of questions. And she and Kara go and sit kind of where Billy and Yorick were just sitting with Kara. Back upstairs, in the crime scene itself, what were you wanting to do, Del?
Yeah, so we looked over the body, determined that Jira's already been searching over the room and checking out the area. Honestly, since we looked him over, I'm just gonna look to Jira and be like, well, I don't know what else we can learn from over here. We have the ajar window. We have the possible death by poison or strangulation. Oh, actually, there is one thing. The that wound he has that's bandaged. I want to remove the bandage and see how recent it looks.
Okay.
It-
Yeah, just with your previous role, it looks relatively fresh, but it's kind of starting to heal a little bit. It's not actively bleeding. It's not a big
yeah,
gaping.
so it wasn't like right.
Yeah, it didn't happen
Wasn't like
immediately,
this
but it probably happened
Okay.
within the last couple of days.
Okay. So yeah, he's gonna do that, and like, looks like he was stabbed recently, but not necessarily last night. That's gross. Um, any other notes you have, Jetta?
Um, I didn't find any objects laying on the floor or anything around the room.
There's nothing just like sticking out of place. Like on the bedside table, there's an empty tea mug. Um, on the desk, you have several candles all over that have been burnt down to their stumps. There's a letter knife, pair of quills, small jar of ink, some pile of shavings.
There was nothing around his neck.
Nothing around his neck, no.
Is there a cut? Does he look like he was strangled with like a garrote or perhaps with something more improvised or hands? Do I have any method of determining?
You aren't certain about it. Dell, looking at the body, you don't see anything obvious, like a sign of any kind of cutting or lines along the neck. Hands on the neck wouldn't necessarily show anything externally. It would be more internally if there were any damages to anything like that, but nothing stands out as, oh, this is the obvious reason or the obvious thing that was used or anything along those lines.
Great.
Okay. And the window you said was cracked. Does it look like it would be practical to get, like, are we high up? Is it
It's a second
The
story. I mean,
second
it's
floor.
not like, I mean, you're not talking like 20 feet in the air, but maybe, 12, 13 feet.
all right? I will communicate what I saw and what I think.
To
I don't know what I think, but I'll communicate it
to
to you.
oh, okay.
I'll
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you that,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
someone could have got out this window, I guess, and that narrows it down to anybody within 40 miles. And
anyone in the building, right? And you say, "Oh, there's a empty tea cup by the bedside." I'm just gonna grab the teacup.
Sure.
I don't know if they'd have to have been in the building.
I don't. Is the teacup empty?
Yep.
It has a tiny little bit of liquid in the bottom of it. Judging by
Just
the
a little
faint
bit.
smell, it contained maybe a ginger tea mixed with some honey.
I think ginger mixed with a little honey. Okay. Yes.
Oh, was it poisoned?
One way to find no. It's possible, but I admit I just joined the archaeobotany class, so I'm not too versed on determining these sorts of things.
Now, DM, I do have a skill that allows me to identify things,
Okay.
but that is mostly magic centric, right?
What's the spell?
Identify.
Well, I don't know if you meant like
Detect magic or
detect
poison
magic
something.
or identify. If it's a magic item or magic imbued, you learned its properties. Whether any spells are affecting the item or what they are. If the item was created by a spell.
I can't afford it anyway.
You can't what?
I can't afford it.
Ah.
Well, in either case, I'm gonna take this cup downstairs. I don't have any further questions for Artemis here.
Well, maybe it would be worthwhile to find out if they were actually serving that kind of tea here, or if it smells any different than what they've got. But mostly, probably finding out who wanted this guy dead is the way to go.
Well, I believe that Billy was doing some questioning, and well, Archie was staring at somebody. I'm not sure if he was asking questions, but perhaps the others have some more information.
I wonder if any of them have magic that would let you, just ask this feller.
Speak with the dead? Yeah, maybe. It's possible.
So you guys want to go back downstairs, or do you want to look at other rooms upstairs? Where would you like to go from here?
Sure.
like
If there's
it.
other rooms upstairs, I'll give it a cursory glance
Yeah, there's like how many rooms? 6
or a
rooms?
thorough investigation, whatever I roll.
I am gonna go back downstairs because
Okay.
there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 other rooms up here.
All right. If I get murdered, I'll try yell real loud.
Yes, please do.
As many specific details as possible. Don't let them leave me naked. It would be awkward.
Everybody's
Yes.
one wish. If you murder me, please put clothes on me.
Just let me die with clothes on.
This one small dignity.
All right, Archie, are you still sitting there? You want to keep talking to him? What would you like to do?
Archie would like to talk to Kyle Fryle.
Oh,
Kyle.
I
just
wrote down all the names I could hear.
I just wrote Kyle, even though I know it's not Kyle.
Yeah.
I just wrote Kyle.
I want to talk to Kyle.
okay.
Make
Kyle.
sure
Kyle.
Yeah,
Trailer.
I'm gonna offer Kyle a monster energy if he tells me all he knows.
It's
Okay.
chucking grasp.
I've already described what he looks like. He is slightly aloof and he speaks very articulately.
Oh, sorry, no, not Kyle. I'm gonna walk towards Kyle, immediately turn to Enoch. That's the guy I wanted to talk to.
So he started to, and then you just walk away.
Enoch,
Yes.
the bird whisperer, who is, yeah, okay. Go ahead. What do you want to say to him? He's just standing there, kind of whispering to his crow.
That's weird.
Raven.
Hey, your name is Enoch, right?
Who's asking? Oh, you are asking. Yes, my name is Enoch.
Yeah, me. You're so cool. Do you know anything about a dead guy?
I've heard there's one around.
Me too.
In
I
fact,
haven't seen him though.
let me tell you something. I was just talking to Crow about this. There are actually a lot of ill omens and dire signs that I've seen lately in the forests. I wander through them regularly. I'm not actually staying here. I just came in for food. I come in for food every day. Lots of ill omens. Have you ever seen a featherless pigeon?
No, but
There were two.
do you
of them.
have one?
I don't have one. But there were two of them that were outside. You know what that tells me?
What?
That someone's been doing something bad around here.
Yeah, like murdering people, or do you mean like?
You know what? That might be related. Actually, you know that I'm thinking about that? Yeah, that is a pretty bad thing. That could be the ill omen. I should have caught on to that.
Wait,
There was a murder. There was a murder.
yeah. What about he's gonna pull out the black goop.
What about a pit? Ooh, what's that stuff?
I don't know, but it made my frog really big and really mean.
Interesting. I haven't seen any of that in the forest.
Do you want some?
Seen anything like that? No, you haven't seen it. What do you think? What do you think that is? Think it's blackberry jelly?
Ooh.
Really? You think it's blackberry jelly? You think it's gonna be blackberry jelly? No, you're not gonna eat it. It's not even mine. You can't have it. See, he's ridiculous. No help whatsoever.
What's his name? He's awesome.
He's Crow.
The Raven's name is Crow.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool. This is Tobias Johansson.
Tobias, it's very nice to meet you. He holds his hand out to shake his.
Tobias sticks his tongue out, obviously.
That's also a dire sign. Being licked by a frog.
He does that to me all the time.
You need to be checked for venereal warts.
Oh, that's awesome. Are those Sorry, I'm supposed to be solving a murder. Do you know anything else?
Honestly, I really don't know what happened here.
Okay. Do you mind if we just sit here and talk for another like 20 minutes?
What'd you say? You think he did it? He wasn't even here. You stupid idiot. Shut up.
Crow, come on, you know me. I wouldn't do that, Crow.
I know you wouldn't do it.
Okay, that's good.
Crow's just paranoid about a lot of things, okay? You just ignore him. If you hear him talking, please tell me because I've never actually heard him talk out loud, and that would be really cool. I want to know if he does that, but otherwise, ignore him.
Do you know magic, Enoch?
That is between me and the earth.
I need to write that down. That's a good answer.
Billy and York. Oh, York is there. Sorry. His hair is like a chair.
100%. I need it canon that like just because this is how it is in the real world. Billy's gonna have been talking to John or whatever, and like there's a moment, there's a pause in their conversation, and at that exact moment is when you just very loudly everyone hears venereal warts, and Billy just kind of like looks over like, okay. At some point in the conversation that happens.
Of course.
Because you know that's how that always is. The moment someone says something and it's
It
just
just
dead
sticks
silence.
right. Yes. Venereal warts.
So you and York are talking to John. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. He's kind of standing over by the fire, just arms crossed, just kind of staring out into the fire, into the flames.
Yeah.
Like, anyway.
Yeah. Billy is going to walk up and introduce himself with a handshake because I don't think he'd been introduced. And he's just gonna be like, okay, so I spoke with Kara. I'm just trying to get like a timeline of Archie's last days. And I don't know, try to figure out who would wish him ill. And she says that you were one of the last ones to do a mission with him yesterday. And she didn't know anything about that. Could you enlighten me on that?
Yes. Me and Artemis were on a scouting mission. He received a crow, said that there was some information that they needed to look at. We happened to be right in the area, so we headed off. Found something that the captain of Quill Watch would find highly interesting.
What's that?
That is a matter of Quill Watch.
Is it? I understand, of course, you know, but above my pay grade. Is it something that you could have been killed for? Like information? Like, are you in danger from this?
Am I in danger from it? No, it's nothing. It's not information, anything along those lines.
Okay. So you didn't find like a smuggling ring or something, you know, a group of bandits who wanted like some reason for someone to want you guys dead.
I mean, have you been around these areas? Everything's bandits and smuggling. Like that's the whole reason that we have a job right now. Let's be honest.
Really?
No.
The campus touted its safety. Waberhaven campus. We're from
Oh, the
Waberhaven.
campus itself is fine, but I'm talking about all of the areas around the campus.
The brochure said it was a pretty safe area. Well, neither here nor there.
Are you really going to believe a brochure that says, "Hey, welcome, let's go to my school because it's super dangerous here"?
I mean, depends on what the school's teaching.
Yeah, I guess whatever.
Like Like if I was going to a gladiator school or something. Dangerous.
Ooh, that sounds
Dangerous
pretty
work.
cool.
I know, right? I would not survive. Okay, so
Venereal warts.
uh, sounds like my friend's having a good conversation over with that guy. Sorry, that
Yeah, no way that Yorick was mature enough to not laugh at that. Like, he's 15. He has to laugh at that.
it's more shameful that Billy also snickered at it. Okay, sorry, where were we? So, okay, so you went on a scouting mission, found something not super dangerous, but that your captain would be fascinated by. He looks at, okay, she said you guys transported a prisoner back to Serrano, and then you came back here. How was he acting yesterday night?
Yesterday night?
Before, after you guys got back, did he seem different? Did he seem abnormal? Something off? You know him better.
I honestly, I went to bed before he did, but he couldn't have stayed up much later than me. But he seemed in good health. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary necessarily.
Okay. So, do you have any inkling as to who among this crowd might have conspired against Artemis?
Honestly, if I had to take a guess, it was probably Inga. I mean,
Really, Inga?
I didn't always like Lieutenant's unfair treatment of the common folk, but he's in charge, so there's not really much I could do about it. So, and I think that I think she did something last night, actually, honestly,
Why
because
do you say that?
I got woken up. Somebody was snoring. I got woken up, kind of peeked out into the hall, and I saw that Inga was delivering tea to his room a little bit later that night.
Okay.
So I think she did something. I think she was the last to see him alive, if you have to ask me.
No, fantastic, fantastic. And Billy is scribbling that in his notes, and Billy's gonna look over his shoulder at York and be like, "Got any other questions for him?"
So who's the one snoring?
Who was the one snoring? I have no idea.
Suspicious. I turn away.
Oh,
Billy's like, "Thank you. Thank you for answering our questions. I will I'll go speak to Inga and see what she recalls of last night."
right.
Billy stands up to walk on.
And with that, it's been about an hour since you've arrived at the inn, and we will go ahead and end our session there for tonight.